they did a play here this spring, The Wizard of Oz. Did y'all see that? And there's this part where Annie M. says, she's talking to Elmira Gulch, which is like the evil witch lady, and she's telling her off, she's really mad, and she says, just because you own half this country doesn't mean you have the power to run the rest of us. For 23 years I've been dying to tell you what I thought of you. And now, while being a Christian woman, I can't say it. Right? So she did the right thing, like minding her manners, don't say mean things to people, but inside she's all hatred. Right? And so I kept reading, I'm thinking, whoa, this is groundbreaking. Maybe I need to be focused more on the feeling rather than the things that I'm doing. Okay, so I keep reading. Mark 8, again, he saw a large crowd and he had compassion on them. That's it. Then what did he do? He fed 4,000 more people. We're up to 9,000 people right now. It's incomprehensible. And it goes on and on and on. Heals someone with leprosy, heals someone with sickness, heals someone with blindness. But if you go back and read the scriptures, it always says he had compassion on him. And then he did something. You guys with me? So after reading the scriptures and really considering this, I thought, man, God is calling me, and he's calling all of you, to so much more than just being nice or being polite. He's called us to have that love and feeling. And so often it is that, like that song that we all know, like, you lost that love and feeling. And then at the end, it's talking about bring back that love and feeling. And so I'm saying, man, God's called me to a feeling, and I want to step into that, and I want to feel what that feels like. So one of the points that I want to make today is that, Christ did amazing things, and people talk about that all the time. But you want to know what I think is the most amazing thing about Christ? The way that he felt. He just saw people, and he was just like, whoa, you're my brother, you're my sister, you're an amazing child of God, and how can I serve you? And sometimes that meant healing, sometimes that meant feeding, sometimes that meant teaching. But he always came up and he's like, I just love you. And I want to be the type of person that does that too. So I come back, after thinking of all this, and I thought, okay, what's that whole, what would Jesus do? Is that helpful or not? Or is there another question that I could be asking? Because really when I come down to it, you ever been in that situation where you're like, you're driving along, you come up to the stoplight, and there's like a homeless guy, and you're sitting there, kind of trying not to look at him, and then you're thinking like, okay, what would Jesus do? So you get out your money and you roll down the window, there's a crack, you stick it out like he's gonna rob you or something, right? And you give him the money, and then you roll up your window and get out there. Job well done, Christian. Right? You guys done that before? But my heart is so far from that love and feeling. Right? I did the right thing, but it's almost like, if you're not feeling it, why are you doing it? God doesn't want you to do stuff and be like, well, I did my duty. He wants you to say, there's a person in need. How can I serve them? Right? And you ever hear the husband, it's Valentine's Day, and he gets his wife flowers, and she's like, oh, it was so sweet. Why did you do that? And he says, well, it's Valentine's Day. I had to. Right? Man, if I was the wife, I'd want to be like, why'd you get this for me? And he's like, because I love you. Right? I have that love and feeling for you, so I did this to show you. But it all came from this feeling that I have inside. And the last one's like you're driving along, right? And you're driving to Valley Presbyterian Church, and there's all those bikers, or maybe you're the bikers, and then you can reverse it. But the bikers and drivers hate each other, right? You do not have that love and feeling. You're driving along, and the bikers are out in the middle of something stupid, or you're mean to them, or you cut them off. And the reason that you do that bad action is because you have this terrible feeling inside. Whereas if you're thinking like, wow, these two are loved children of God, then you're going to react in a different way than honking your horn or cutting them off or whatever it is that you do. So man, I don't know about you, but this was groundbreaking for me. And I've tried to implement that in my life. And I feel like, first and foremost, we're called to love God. But that's not like pray more. That's like, I want you to feel this love for God. Like you feel love for your spouse, or like you feel love for your kids. Like you just see them and you just feel that inside. And in turn, like, I want you guys to know how much Christ loves you. And that's part of it too. Love is like this two-way street where part of it is like, God, I love you. And part of it is me acknowledging, God, I know that you love me. And that's awesome. And I feel like when you're operating out of that place, you are totally freed up to wave to the bikers and say, have a great day, instead of whatever else that you might do when you're in that place of hatred. So I like to bring up Erin. This girl never ceases to amaze me, and I'm sure she'll amaze you too. She, if you want to get a taste of that love and feeling, she has dedicated her life to helping college students figure out like who is Jesus and how does that fit into my daily life. And so she's on staff with the organization called InterVarsity Christian Fellowship. She works up in Washington State. And I'm so glad that she's here today, because she's normally there. She's back for the summer and she's doing some fundraising, and that's part of her job, so that she can go and minister to these students. But beyond her heart for the Lord, she's a fantastic singer. And so we're going to sing, she's going to sing, and I'm going to play the piano. But this song, the lyrics are on an insert. Okay, it's green. So let's all pull that out right now. And this song is called Make You Feel My Love. And there it is again, Feel My Love. Right? And so when we're listening to this is the most beautiful song. It was originally written by Bob Dylan. But I put Adele because the version that we're performing is originally performed by Adele. But as we're reading this, I want you to follow along. Or just listen, however you prefer to do it. But as you listen to these words, there are two different assumptions here. One of them is that Christ is saying these words to you. Okay? And the second one is, after you're filled up with the love of Christ, you go out in the world and you say this to someone else. You got that?